You got one life, for crying out loud. You might as well just give it all you got.
The Deej, Dan Jourdan.
Your daily dose of reality. Your daily dose of the Deej.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need my daily dose of the Deej.
I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader.
The Sales Energizer, Dan Jourdan.
Listen, don't worry how to sell, baby. Worry about why people buy. And it's fun.
You don't need a 5-hour energy. All you need is the Sales Energizer.
Just when I think it's not going to be as fun as the one before, each one gets successfully better. Success. What's the word I'm looking for? What's it going to take to get you into this car today, huh?
And now, please welcome the Sales Energizer, Dan Jourdan.
Boom!
That's exactly it. Do that. Let's do that. There we go. Can you see me backstage?
Yeah, I could see you backstage. You have your arms up the entire intro video. You're like, I'm never going to be caught.
You know what it is? It changes your whole mental state of mind. Your physiology changes your mental state of mind. So even if you're tired, act like you would when you're awake, and all of a sudden you start doing that. Funny thing. So we went to we had that conference today, the Outbound conference, which was awesome. Oh, Mark Fonseca is there. I got a schmata. Mark Fonseca is there. And I got to tell you, so I went to that. He's the guy who makes my clothes and makes my shirts and all that stuff. And we went to that conference. So two things happened. I walked in there and I saw a bunch of people I knew, and they'd stop and they say, "Hey, Deej," and they meet me with the arms in the air, which is very cool. They did that. It's like it's the perfectly socially accepted handshake. You don't touch, and you're still doing that. And the second thing they said to me, and this is for you, Mark, nice shirt. Like that was my thing. So they said, "Hey, Deej," and then nice shirt. And so thank you, Mark. That was very cool. But great.
Dresstheman.com. Mark Fonseca, good friend of the show. And he's an FOS.
Friend of the show. And so I'm still pumped up. From going to this sales conference. We saw Victor Antonio there, of course, Jeb Blout, who ran this whole thing, Anthony. It was just a really great group of people, and it keeps on going on. But then we had the pleasure of being able to come home here to the Southern Command Center in beautiful Marietta, Georgia, and along with Chris Stone, and we get to have like a really someone who is too big for the stage that we saw today from Australia. And he's willing to come here on DJ Live to spread his wisdom to the masses. And so I think it's
so
great.
Up at 8 a.m. in Australia, other side of the world, the world's number one authority on trust-based selling. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of Unlock the Game, the author of Unlock the Sales Game. Would you please welcome to Dan Jourdan Live, Mr. Ari Galper.
Hey, guys.
Oh, you see?
I'm pumped up.
That's right. You're going to get, by the way, you should know. So it's 6 p.m. here. I got up this morning at 3:28. And so AM, so a lot of people, would be tired this time, but just the fact that I knew I'd be speaking with you, I'm still rocking and rolling. I'm fresh as a daisy.
You're on the raw clock now. I love it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm back. Well, this is awesome. I'm so pleased to have you because I'm a big fan of things that don't make sense to me or just funny. Like jumbo shrimp. Army intelligence, things just don't match. And then trust salespeople kind of doesn't fit together. And so you managed to somehow put that together. How the heck do you do that? And who believes you?
Well, I'll tell you. So I specialize in what's called trust-based selling, which in itself, you're right. It's sort of like an oxymoron, right?
Yeah.
And that's the whole concept we'll talk about today is how do you build trust in the sales process and not chase people? not play that game everybody hates. So we'll drop a few bombs today, and we'll kind of make it a great show.
Yeah, that's right. My sister once called me. She called me an oxymoron minus the oxy. Like that was her. She was very fancy there, but that's great. So you're in Australia.
Yeah.
And so what's been going on with you with this whole virus situation? Have you been able to conduct business? How have you changed your business and sales cycle with this new paradigm that we're in?
Well,
what do you think of that for a $9 word right there? Boom, just dropping them.
Oh, you nailed it. Well, I mean, obviously pre-COVID I was on the road doing speaking just like lots of other folks, but yeah, gone fully virtual now, and lots of folks just chiming in. We got a live stream show called Stump the Guru, where people can stump me live. And so we're enjoying the ride, definitely.
Oh, I think I've seen something like that with Stump the Guru. Okay, so let me just ask you a question then.
Sure.
You go meet with a client virtually or non-virtually. Actually, let's do it virtually because that's what people do. You meet with a client, you give your whole pitch. It's easy for you to do your pitch deck. They love it. Everything's good. You set up a time to get together another time. They cancel that appointment and then they disappear.
They ghost you.
Yes. How do you deal with that, Guru?
All right. So first of all, what I tell my clients is have your first sales conversation not on a visual format, only on an old school conference call.
Ooh.
So you narrow down the channel. It's audio only. Listen, talk, listen, talk. When you go virtual for the first time, it's all visual. Your hair, how you look, hey, how's it going? And it gets all real mixed up from there. So that's kind of the first pivot that I have my clients do. They go, what?
Hold on a second. I got to take notes. That's actually really good.
Hey, Dan, this is kind of recorded, so you can go back and take
I know,
notes
but I got this. That is money. That is absolutely right. My gosh, I thought I was just putzing around here. You're an actual real guru. All right.
That's just the beginning. So here's the thing. It gets quite awkward to meet someone first on a video camera like this because it's kind of a weird experience. Everyone looking at each other. Hey, it starts the wrong way. So what I tell my clients, it's got to be a doctor-patient relationship where they're talking, you're listening, and the audio channel narrows it down to only two variables, audio only and listening and talking, not visual. So that's the first start. The second concept is, and I'm working on a new book right now called The One Call Sale, and that is you should be able to onboard the person on one conversation if they are qualified. There should be no follow-up. If there is a follow-up, it's because somewhere along the way you messed it up. If you get, I want to think about it, I'm not sure yet. So we'll talk about that if you want today as well. But there's a way to do this in a way where you build trust on one conversation, and not I'm saying get a signed contract. I mean, get a verbal, I want to move forward.
That is gold. And by the way, I want to tell everybody, if you're listening here on all the channels, including Amazon Live, and you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. We'll do a little mini Stump the Guru here. And so if they have any questions, we'll go from there. And we are on Amazon Live. So Chris Stone, you got to tell everybody to unmute.
Everyone unmute.
There we go. You see, okay. Ari, if we had
if anyone's on any of the other places and you want to join the party over on Amazon, and why wouldn't you? Because Ari's book is right there, right along the bottom, and you can pick up Unlock the Sales Game right as you're watching, uninterrupted. And so if you want to do that, just go to thepitchman.live and it brings you right here to Amazon. And so how was that, Dan?
That was excellent. That was great. So how long did it take for you to reach guru status? Actually, this is not a flippant question, because a lot of new salespeople get started or people in mid-career, and they may be they don't know how to get that moniker, or whether or not it's fine for them just to capture it, just to receive it. So how calling yourself a guru takes a particular amount of courage. Where did that come from? When did it start? And how could other people get it?
All right. So it's 20 years overnight success story, right? So I've been in a niche for a long time, large following, and I built this sort of approach that's so contrarian. It's like a dog whistle. People hear, they go, oh man, that feels so right. So from that was able to build a big audience and obviously do a book and a show. And look, it's possible if you go deep on your topic and you know more than your own audience. So people get stuck a lot of times. They try and be smart with their answers, but don't know more than their customers. So that's what we'll have some fun with this today.
Okay, well, so you do that, or so.
Ari, we've got a friend of the show, Pete Primo, who has also got a fantastic podcast, fantastic show produced by someone I know.
Yep.
And he wants to know if you can speak to the mindset of discovering the truth as opposed to making a sale.
A soulmate, I hear out there. Yes. So one of our core principles is called getting to the truth with people. And what that means is having them feel comfortable opening up to you on a first conversation and telling you the truth of where they stand. Quick story for you. This is a true story. A few months ago, I had someone call my office, got through my team, got to me, and I picked up the phone. I hear, hi, Mr. Galper. I said, yeah. My name is John Johnson. I changed the name. I'm with XYZ company. You recognize they're a big company. He says to me, look, we're looking to bring someone to change our sales team and culture. We're looking at 2 other people like yourself. We'd like to, first of all, why should we go with you? Why are you the best? And give me your best sales pitch. He says this to me inbound. Now, I'm a human being, a big company. I took a deep breath, went to my mindset, which stay centered in who I was and what the goal was here. I lowered my voice, and I said this to him. I said, well, isn't that interesting? And I paused for about a minute. Then I said, over here at our company, we have a very similar process to you where we ask some questions, gather information to see if we're a good fit. And if we're a good fit, we decide where to go from there. And I said to him, would you be open to that? That's all I said. On the phone next, dead silent, not a word. Then I feel the breath across the phone. He relaxes. I can see he lowers his voice and he says to me, okay, what kind of questions do you have for me? Next thing I know, we're having a normal dialogue. And in 5 minutes, I discover 1, he's not a decision maker. 2, he has no budget. And 3, he just curious as to what I do. And off he went to YouTube for my stuff. I hung up the phone. Now that process I just did helped me get to the truth of where he was at without playing the sales games that we all hate, without chasing him. Without, this is drug in our bodies, and it's activated with the cause of that. The drug is called? It's called hopium. The hopium drug?
Yeah.
You get the inbound call like, yeah, I got the call. Woohoo! And you follow up with the guy, you get his voicemail, he's not there anymore. So this whole process I developed is designed to detox you off of hopium to get to the truth.
And so, by the way, I literally have goosebumps. It's just dynamite stuff. Now, how do you set that up? Okay, so we have a sales call. I may or may not be interested in your stuff. Very good. I don't know anything about it really, but we set up a call. We've got 25 minutes. And hello, how are you? Thanks for taking my call. What do you got?
Love it. Okay, so our mindset is you start the call with your mindset saying to yourself, he's probably not a fit. You start the call in your mind saying to yourself, he may not be a fit. I have no idea if he is a fit. I'm taking all assumptions off the table. Yeah. That's where you start the conversation. Then when they say, what do you got? Well, it's premature to tell them what you got until you figure out if they have a problem or not. So you flip it and you say, look, I'd be happy to walk you through everything I've got. No problem at all. Then you say this. You say, would you be open to share with me a little bit about your situation, a bit about your story, your journey, what your current challenges are? We'll kind of go from there. How's that sound? You put the ball in their court, and they're going to go, yeah, okay, sure. And next thing you know is they're talking, they're telling their problems, and the ball's there in their court, right? It's what I call a doctor-patient relationship. They got the problem. you got the answer, but you can't start the process talking about the answer. Doesn't make sense.
Okay. All right. So now let me just flip it a little bit here. So now I am you prospected somehow. It was some sort of outbound call or an email or something, and I call you back, or I filled in a little thing, and we have a meeting set up, and so our meeting is right now, and you say that to me. Okay, so we started the call, and here we are. And I say to you, well, to be honest with you, you called me. I would assume you would have some idea of if you can help me or not.
Well, I'm not sure I can. But what might be helpful is if you can kind of walk me through specifically. Well, let's give some context here. Let's say it's a sales issue. If you can
I don't know that I have a sales issue. You called, I guess your marketing would have said something like, if you're frustrated. Okay.
It wouldn't be like a cold call with no, let's assume something in here has a connection somewhere. Otherwise you wouldn't call me back. But the point is that I would simply say, assuming it's related to sales or something like that, say, well, if you can walk me through specifically, if you have any sales issues at all you want to work on or any help you want around that, that's probably a good place for us to start.
Very, very good. So, all right. So, well, listen, here's my big fear. How much is this all going to cost?
Maybe nothing. Because it may not be. I'm not sure I can help you yet.
Okay. Well, assuming there is a fit, how much does it cost?
Let's figure it out together. Let's walk through Let's walk through what the ROI is for you here, and let's see where it can fit for both of us.
Very good. Okay. And now,
see what you're doing right now is you are coming at me, having me defend myself. That's a typical sales model that we're used to doing. We get bullets coming our way. We put our sales armor on and we try and fight the bullets back. See, in our world, we don't overcome them. We diffuse them. You see, if you know, like Aikido, the Japanese martial art, on Aikido, if someone comes at you, you don't attack back. You diffuse the resistance. Same model here. We have language you got to develop that diffuses every objection ever imaginable.
Okay, so now let me say, I'm having fun. So now at the beginning, you said you get in the right mindset. And the mindset is it's probably not a fit. Do you ever verbalize that?
No, I don't. I just make sure I'm in the right place myself so I don't get caught into hopium. And the hopium is when they tell us they're interested and they never are. See, they say things like, hey, it sounds good. Send me information. Wait, send me a proposal. We're definitely interested. And they never are going to buy. So I'm very aware of the smoke screens coming my way. And I teach my clients to diffuse it right away.
Well, there's a problem because, hopium feels good. I love hopium. My dad used to say, Danny, in this country, if you have your health, you have hope. And if you have hope, you have everything. Yeah, I mean, and so like I want hope. I like hope. Hope wakes people up in the morning. Don't take me off of hope. I mean, that's like that's a rough life.
It's funny because what we have figured out is that usually the potential client doesn't even really know what they need.
Yes.
You know what they want, but don't know what they need. So we're going into the call with thinking to ourselves, you think you know what you want, but you don't know what you need.
That's very true. Because a lot of times people thinks they need help in sales, but they got no leads. They really need some lead gen. What's sales training going to do or sometimes they have, to train a group of seasoned people to go to the next level is very effective. But that same training on rookies does nothing because they don't have the belief yet that they're even capable of doing that. So they can't even get to there.
Exactly. And I'm going to drop a bomb right now. I'm going to ask all your listeners and viewers to remove one key word forever from the vocabulary as of the recording. It's up to them if they want to or not. But if you've been in sales for a long time, this might hurt just a bit. So hopefully it's okay in the show. I'm going to ask all your listeners to never again use the phrase follow-up after today, ever again in their career, the word follow-up.
Right. So what should they replace it with?
Well, the only people who use the word follow-up is salespeople, which you want to be part of that negative. association. So instead, you say this. You say, I'm giving you a call to see if you have any feedback on our previous conversation, any feedback on our last meeting, any feedback on our email. See, feedback's going away from the sale, not towards the sale. See, what happens is if you move things forward with somebody, they feel pressure from you because you're moving towards your goal. But if you go backwards away from it, you take the pressure out and they come right towards you.
That's very smart. A lot of times I tell people, because people like to use, their industry jargon. And you're right. For salespeople, one of the industry jargon words is follow-up. Nobody else uses that. And what happens when you use a word that other people are not familiar with, a lot of times they're going to think about it for a second. If they don't know it, they're going to just let it pass. But they're a little uncomfortable. Because what happens is when you're using your industry jargon towards them and they don't understand, they feel kind of stupid. Like he's saying it so normally. I should understand this. And now I feel like an idiot. And now this guy's calling me an idiot. And now you hate him. And there's no reason you're going to buy. So stay away from jargon. So that's great. But you can't just stay away from words. You got to replace them. And so what I always tell everybody, so I love the feedback idea. Very good. I'm going to call you back to get feedback on our last call. It's a conversation. I'm
not following up with you. I'm not trying to pull you forward. All I want to know is what's the truth of where you're at.
Yeah. So it's all about, so it's not that the salesperson is being truthful with trying to get the truth from them. Yeah. So when you say, yeah, that's right. So that's where the whole trust thing goes. That's where the whole trust thing goes. So it's like specific. So I love this comment when I'm ever on a sales call and it's like up in the air a little bit, specifically, what did you mean by that? And just let them just tell you exactly over and over. That's magic. Along those lines of industry jargon and words to say and not to say, I made something up years ago. I call them the 7 magic words, and you stole them, or I stole them from you. I'm not sure, but there's my 7 magic words. I wonder if you can help me. I'm a big cold caller. I just love cold calling. I love everything cold. Cold showers, cold pizza, cold toilet seats. I'm just a cold guy. I like the whole thing. And so the first thing I realized is if you say, hi, how are you today? The people on the other side, they play the game. They know the game is this. How are you today? Oh, it's a cold call. We're in a fight now. Let me build up a wall between us, and now you got to fight your way through. So I change it, and I use the 7 magic words. Hey, I wonder if you could help me. How do you use that? Because I think you have some.
Would you be open to having me even improve that?
Listen, I am a man. You ask Chris Stone. Chris Stone, we just had a guy tear me a new tuchus hole today when trying to correct me. And I took it with a smile. All right, go ahead, Ari. This is
I am a witness to that.
Yeah,
that
yes,
was,
okay.
Yep.
Yes, please improve me.
Here's a small tweak. I'm hoping you can help me out for a moment. Wondering is the fishing word. Or you're wondering, you're fishing for something, you're looking for something. I'm hoping you can help me out. And you drop your voice at the end. I'm hoping you can help me out for a moment. And then they come towards you and say, how can I help you? If you come in too strong, they'll push back.
Yeah, very good. So here he is. This is the typical, I'm Chris Stone, I'm talking to you. This is a typical sales guy. 10 seconds ago, he tells me to get off opium. And then 10 seconds later, he adds it right back in. You can't trust these guys. They're trouble.
I'm addicted to opium. I think we all are.
I love it. No, that's good. That's good. And I find it's really magic. It works on everything. But when you ask your wife for certain things.
There's a good comment here from LinkedIn. Beat Schindler says, when words control you, that means everyone else can control you. What Ari is saying, I think, is you've got to know what you want no matter whose side you're on. Any comments?
That is true. You have to be what you have to be able to do is your languaging has to hit a point of what I call resonance, where they feel that you get them. They got to feel it. You're cut the noise. You're what I call a truth teller. You're not playing games with them or sales games. Let me give you an example. Wait, here's a scenario that might make it even more clear. Let's say you're having a first call with somebody over the phone, a first conversation with a prospect. Good opportunity. They're fairly qualified. Good chemistry. It looks like a good opportunity for you. And the call comes to a close. Normally we say things like what? We say things like, hey, how about we move forward, have a cup of coffee, go to the next step. See, we're conditioned to move things forward. But what happens if you try and move somebody forward and they aren't ready yet? What do you break with them right there in the beginning? You break trust with them, right? Right in the beginning. So same scenario, our mindset, our languaging. Call is going well, good chemistry. Call comes to an end. Rather than saying, hey, how about we move forward? What we say instead is this. We say, where do you think we should go from here?
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is very similar to James Muir with the perfect close. Yeah. I got it. Where does this make sense? Does it make sense for us to?
That's a one way or the other. You know.
What happens is usually they're in a state of shock because they can't believe somebody actually asked them what they want to do, which is unheard of in the sales situation like that. And they start telling you the truth. They say things like, wait, I've got one more question. Wait, what about? And it all comes out right at hello.
Yeah, that's it. Actually, this happened exactly today. I finished a call. I started doing 15 minutes. By the way, I'm interrupting myself. I called him on the phone, Ari, and she says, I like doing things the old-fashioned way. Let's go on Google Meets, which is a video conference. I'm like, that's old-fashioned? It's like everything's, fakakten. And so so we went on Google Meets, and at the end of the whole thing, I said exactly that. Well, actually, I took I like getting the money situation in there too. So my thing to bring up money, because a lot of times you're going the right way, and I go, man, I got to find out if this person can afford this, if we're in the right place. And so my line is, and tell me if this is okay. If not, please correct me. Thank you. I got a new wife over here, Chris Stone. I said to her, is it okay if we talk about money now? I love that. It's so good. Okay, great. All right. Well, it costs this, this, and this. And I say, let me ask you, is that more or less than you thought it would be? And they always say the same thing. This is weird. They always say the same thing. They say, it's about right.
Nice.
It's about right. And then I went back to her. Okay, well, listen, our time is up. I'm very, cognizant of your time. Where do you think we should go from here? And what she said was, I think we should set up another appointment for a deep dive. And so so what I did, because we trained, what would you tell me to do right there? I think we should, just set it up or send them an email. I just set the mother up right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
there should be no follow-up in your process at all. If there is, it's because you didn't do that, which is schedule a next step on the calendar, right? It should be what I call a calendar relationship with your prospects. The relationship is on the calendar only, not off the calendar. If they're off, you messed up somewhere in your process.
Well, that is just money. Okay. So, Guru, everybody is too chicken to ask you questions here. Because you find that. Do you find, because of your obvious experience and confidence and guru status, that you intimidate prospects?
Gosh, I try not to. And I'll tell you a story. I wrote a book about my son called Lessons from Toby. And when he was born, we were told he had Down syndrome, and we were amazed at what a beautiful child that we have. And he's amazing now. He's 17 years old. And he taught me, if you know someone has Down syndrome, that they're so transparent, so honest, so loving. And that I learned from him how to hopefully be like that in the way I teach people how to do what I do. So I'm hoping I don't intimidate. I hope I embrace people to come forward.
Okay, with love and with truth. So how is the boy doing now?
Toby's amazing. 17 years old. He's in Special Olympics basketball. I wrote a book about him. He's our hero and he's inspiration. And I say to myself, I tell my clients, if we could all be like him one day, honest, transparent with people, loving, no hidden agenda. Imagine the place we'd have around us right now.
That is terrific. So I'm very curious with this. So does he have is he working? What's his plans?
Yeah, he's very mainstream. He's in a high school right now in a special needs class, but he's going to get a job next year. Not sure he wants to do it. He wants to have his own place, get a job. He's so focused on being independent, and he's just amazing. We're such a gift to have him in our lives.
Yes, that's true. Any other children?
2 other kids. Yeah, got a son and a daughter, and one's very.
So I always ask this question of parents of 3 children in front of as many people as possible. Which one do you like best?
They're all special.
Okay, there we go. That's very good. I remember my son asked me that. We only have 2, and so he says, "Daddy, who do you like better?" Me, he already asked his mother. So who do you like better, me or Sophie? I said,
we
Sophie.
all get that.
I said Sophie by a mile. By a mile, which is great. So and the reason why I ask these questions is things are changing now socially. What's acceptable, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, isn't today, and how personal can you get on a sales call before it's uncomfortable for the whole world? Because I get caught.
What do you mean you get caught?
I will offend people without knowing it.
Ah.
A lot of people are offended of my, about my good looks, charm, and personality. No, but I mean, how personal can you get anymore? Is it?
Well,
I don't know. Or is it different than it was?
Well, first of all, you've got to stay authentic to who you are. Okay, don't change for anybody else. If you are the way you are, stick with it. I'm not suggesting changing who you are. What I'm suggesting is getting better at connecting at a deep level with them, going into their world with bedside manner, with empathy, and having them feel that you understand them better than they understand themselves. That's what real trust is. Trust is when someone says to themselves, man, he just gets me. He understands my world. That is the world I live in, where I help my clients get that level of someone where they can't help but to say to themselves, he's my guy. I don't care what he charges.
Well, so do you ever get to the point where it's like, hey, dude, I just want to buy some software. Lighten up. You don't need to know my entire soul and my reason for living.
Usually, when they jump forward and say, I want to buy now, they end up not buying. They end up shopping you for free information, free consulting. All think about it. That's the thing we realize, is that the customers have their own agenda to pick your brain for information, to get you into sales mode, to give you what they want. And then they go make you chase them. So I said to myself, no more are they going to be in their process. They're going to be in my process. And anyways, we aren't all a fit anyways.
That's it. Okay. And so, and your process, if I'm breaking it down to nothing, is just, hey, I know you're going to lie to me. Just tell me the truth. Just tell me. Listen, everybody lies. I got it. I live in the same planet that you do. But if we're going to make this relationship work, just tell me the truth. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
Exactly. The whole message is, look, if we're not a fit, I'm okay with that. I can go home tonight and I'll be fine. My life won't die or live without you. So let's just get to the truth here. Why are we playing any more games?
Now, do you lose people like that? That, you're too...
Well, I disengage with them. I let them go if they're not a fit. They don't lose me. I let them go.
Okay.
I'm the doctor. They're the patient. They say my shoulder hurts. I say, let me take a look. Oh, yeah. You know what? You need an x-ray to take a look at what the problem is here. And I can't give you a solution until I figure out what the problem is. It's set up from the beginning that I cannot give you an answer until I determine that your problem is something I can solve.
Okay, why are you yelling at me? I'm on your side here.
Ari, do you think people, people always confuse the words? You mentioned empathy as one of the components. Do you think people confuse empathy and sympathy a lot? And what does that mean in this context? Like how does
Great
someone
question.
show empathy for prospects?
So people will always say to me, "Oh, Ari, I'm a good listener. I ask questions. I don't push people. I'm a nice person on the sales. I'm not like those kind of people." And I say, and then they play the recording. They record their calls for me. They play for me on our conversation, and they play the call. And I hear them being really empathetic and nice. But what happens at the end is they end up doing free consulting. They do free education, free consulting, give everything away, and they end up with nothing at the end. And I'm like, what are you doing? What you're not doing is you're not diagnosing. You got to go deep down the iceberg, below their problem, to a place even they haven't gone before, where they go, oh my God, I didn't realize that. That's the aha moment that creates the momentum towards you.
But you don't do that before they pay you. Do you?
Before they pay you, yes.
Aha, there's the du lichte hint bei Gruben. I found out what that means, by the way, in Yiddish. It means there lies the bone that's buried. Okay, so that's exactly
Those are the kind of knowledge that you only get on this show, Ari. That's it. Only on this show.
So you're in essence, you're giving value first. They're getting a one-on-one aha moment, and once they say aha, what do you do then?
Okay, now let me clarify this. This is good though. You're getting the crux of the whole thing right now.
Well, it's about time.
We don't give value pre-sale. We give clarity on what their real issues are. And that clarity is what they actually want. They don't care about how you solve their problem. What they care about is if you're the one to solve it or not.
Yeah, you know what? I actually used that today. Of course, I'm more crude than you, but someone asked me, well, how do you do that? And I said, well, do you really care? I mean, let's say I waved a magic wand and it was done and you got that. Would that be good or not? You want to find out how to do it. Anyway, it didn't go well, but I was in that kind of a mood. But very good. Listen, Pete Primo has a question here, or he wants you to.
He wants Pete wants you to tell the story about when you were discovered being lied to. Apparently, the prospect thought that you had hung up and overheard the game plan.
That's my famous story that got me here today 20 years ago. I'll tell you real quick what happened. It started this whole journey for me, but about 20 years ago, I was a sales manager at a software company, and I managed 18 reps underneath me. We launched the first online website tracking software tools. It's called Google Analytics now, where you collect data for websites. But fast-growing company at the time, the big leads came across my desk. This one contact gave us a call. I got the phone call. We had a great conversation. Big company, huge business. And he agreed to a conference call and a demo to see our product. And if I close this one sale, it would double the revenue of the whole company in one transaction. That's how big this thing was. So they finally came Friday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was in my conference room with my CEO. A closed door behind me. On the table is a conference line. And I dialed the number that he told me to call into. He picks up, says hello. I said, hey, how's it going? Great. And he says to me, Ari, let us tell you who's with us today on the line. I said, oh, great. I know someone else will be there. Next thing I hear is, my name is Mike. I'm CEO. I was like, oh, this is good. My name is Chris. I'm head of IT. Even better. My name is Julie. I'm head of marketing. Great. I mean, everybody on this call was a decision maker. Then I introduced myself, gave them a demo over the web of our product. And they're like, oh my God, this is great. They start asking me all kinds of questions. How does it work? How do we install it? I had all the right kind of answers. I was competent at the time. And there was so much chemistry on this phone call. It was like a love fest on the phone. You know what I'm talking about, guys? Yeah, it's like, this is like the most amazing call. No friction, back and forth. I'm loving this. It's like judo, and the call comes to a close. My guy's like, Ari, this is great. We love it. Give us a call a couple weeks. Follow up with us. We'll move this thing forward. I'm like, oh, thank you, God, And I reached for the phone, hit the off button. As I'm reaching for the off button, by complete accident, and that was a divine intervention. My thumb hit the mute button instead of the off button. They were right next to each other, and I hit the wrong button by accident. A small click happened, and they thought I hung up the phone.
Oh, no.
Awesome.
And that split second, a voice inside of me said, Ari, go to the dark side. Be a fly in the wall. Go where no one's ever gone before in the world of sales. So I said, what the heck? I'll just do it. I pulled my thumb back. They thought I hung up the phone, started talking amongst themselves. Now, you'd think you'd hear things like, hey, this is amazing. Let's get this thing going. This is great. Let's not waste time. But you know what I heard instead? I heard this. I heard, we're not going to go with him. Keep using him for more information. And make sure we shop someplace else cheaper. Knife and heart twist. I was in a state of shock. I hit the off button. With the water, said to myself, what did I do wrong? And I realized that moment, so I had the big epiphany that somewhere along the way, it has become socially acceptable not to tell the truth to people who sell, right?
Yeah.
It's okay to say things like, sounds good. That's where that whole process came from, was to bust through the games and get to the truth.
Yeah, and it's such a good place to live. And you don't have to worry. You know, your mom told you all those things when you were a kid. When you tell lies, you have to keep track of them. And if you tell too many, you're going to lose track, and then you're going to lose credibility, and then everything. It's exhausting.
Exhausting. It's a burden that we carry on our shoulders every single day when we leave home, when we get to work to sell something. We put our arm around us to be somebody we're not because we're afraid of the bullets that we're creating. So the whole goal in trust-based selling is to remove all that friction to get to the truth a lot quicker.
Yes, and it's okay to say no to me. That's my big line. Hey, listen, it's okay. I'm a big boy and I can handle it. No big deal. You know, with a smile. So your book again is available here. What's the name of your book?
Unlock the Sales Game.
Yes.
And I got a new one coming out soon called The One Call Sale, which will be pretty radical. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that'll be good. So who is a great customer for you? Like what do I have to hear from somebody if I'm speaking with them for me to say, oh, I got a guy?
It's ideal if you're in a low volume, high price point model with high trust, like an advisor or a consultant or a high price point SaaS product that is a high value, where it's not about volume, it's about a high trust relationship in the beginning. If you only need 4 or 5 clients a month and you're good, ideal. If you need 100, maybe not. There's so much volume coming through. So it's that person who is in that quadrant: low volume, high price point, high trust.
Well, what's a high, just to be more specific, what is a high price point? You know, for some people it's 2,000, for some people it's 10. What's a good number that the price of their product needs to be for you to be a good
I'd say rather than price of product, value of the customer. So the value of a client over a year period is at least $5,000. And gosh, it deserves to focus and build trust with them from the beginning, so they pay you every year and continue with you and have a client for life.
Okay, so if the lifetime value is $5,000 or more, you're an awesome resource for them.
Perfect for that model.
Okay, and not to generate leads, but to make sales.
This is conversion.
Okay.
This is about how to convert what you already have. And here's my premise. If your call with somebody is, if they're qualified in terms of fitting your profile on our first call, you should be getting 100% conversion on your calls. If you're not, that means something in your process messed it up.
Well, is a no a conversion?
A no is basically considered off the table and does not count. And it's okay to let them go. But the ones that are qualified and are a yes are the ones that should be 100%. So either it's a no or a yes, but no maybes.
Well, so I mean, so if you're in conversations with them and the money thing comes up and they just don't have the money to do it, is that a yeah? So you're converting them. You're just converting them to a no.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So it's 100% conversion. I can do that too. But there's no ghosting or worrying or I'm actually afraid to use the word up follow.
Follow up.
Yeah. So I'll say
If you're chasing someone right now after a first call with them, something went wrong in that first call.
yes. Yeah. Now that's the sales call part, but there is the prospecting and the prospecting. Well, what about that? Let's start that. Let's start because there's two separate sales.
Yeah.
You know, now that I got you, Ari, I mean, you're in Australia for crying out loud. I can't, I don't get you that often here. I'm going to take what I can get here.
Sure.
So I believe there are two different sales. The prospecting call is a different sale than is the sales call sale. Okay.
Yes.
So do the same rules apply for prospecting?
Let's do prospecting. Okay. So prospecting, your goal when you're prospecting, assuming a cold call to somebody, is to schedule a proper consultation, to schedule a focused call they arrive on to do what I call the one call sale. Now, when you do your outbound call, you do what you and I do, which is I'm hoping you can help me out for a moment. They're going to say to you every time, like, how can I help you? Then you start with, I'm just giving you a call. This is our approach to see if you'd be open. That's the key word, not interested, be open to some different ideas and perspectives on ways to deal with the issues of, and you plug in the problems that you help people solve. You do not pick your solutions. And then from there, you engage to a next step.
That's exactly right. I love this. My whole thing is I tell people to take 3 words out of their vocabulary. My 3 words are I, we, and us. Because nobody cares about that. So listen, if you're like most people, you're struggling with getting new employees at a good price, and retaining your employees to service your company. Am I pretty close to the truth? And so I got you. Look, he's physically nodding his head. He's nodding I got you to nod yes 4 times without using the word I, we, or us once. And so you got them thinking about problems instead of what you can do. You basically told them what you do without telling them what you do.
Correct. Because you don't introduce your solution premature to discussing the problem.
You're so good. So let me ask you a question on a personal note. What was the last thing you bought on Amazon?
On Amazon?
Yes.
I just bought Amazon Unbound with Jeff Bezos, the new book about him and his company.
Oh, okay. Look at that. So you're one of those people that still buys only books on Amazon.
I got stacked up next to my bedside, the table there. I read about.
Are you a reader or just a collector of books?
No, I read about 2 books a week.
Do you see, now this is something that salespeople aren't familiar with. Let me ask, do you write also?
Only if I need to. I'm a reader and I speak and I can write, yes, as required, but it's not my passion.
Do you write in your books? Do you highlight and do all that stuff?
No, I just, you know what I do? I just scan 80/20. I scan for the big ideas. And write those down. And then I give my books away as gifts to my clients in the mail as surprises.
So these are the nuggets that we try to give to people. You're actually doing a seminar. If all you got just was that's absolute money. Give a book sitting on your shelf is wasted. If you're not going to use it as a resource, give it away as a gift and create that type of reciprocity to the world.
It's amazing when you go offline right now in a digital world and they get a package in the mail.
Yeah.
And they open it up. You would not believe the kudos you get back from people. They go, oh my God, thank you so much for this in the mail physical book. It's all cool, but if the magic continues on. It
could just be a card. Yeah. Mark Fonseca, somebody who was on the show earlier and has probably left because he's one of those people who likes to eat dinner. Anyway, so he sends a card after he talks to really just about anybody, and it's very, it's just good to get a piece of mail there. It's very good. Do you guys still do mail in Australia?
Yeah, we still do mail.
That's good.
We do mail. Actually, I've developed what I call a trust box. That's what I call it.
Oh, a TB?
It's a box. Yeah, TV. It's a box that contains a whole bunch of my books that goes in the mail, FedEx, overnight delivery to someone pre-sales conversation so that we establish our authority in advance of the first call.
That is wonderful. That is, that's just a little to differentiate yourself. And a great book that I can give is Unlock the Sales Game. Once I order it from Amazon, I gotta get that book. I too, I'm a reader. The problem is I like highlighting them. You know what I need to do is get 2 books, one that I could read and highlight and use as a resource, and one that I give away. I think that's what you've inspired me to do.
Awesome.
So I really appreciate you coming here all the way from Australia. I always wondered, how do people drink in Australia being upside down all the time? Okay.
They drink a lot.
Okay. I don't need you to be shaking your head at me, Chris Stone.
The jokes don't get better as the show goes later. I do know that.
Okay. Let me tell you something. I really appreciate you coming on and changing the times for us and being here. I expected wisdom, but I didn't expect greatness. And it was you really are the real deal. I'm comfortable calling you a guru, and I hope we can remain friends.
For sure.
And do this again. And when I get to Australia on my world tour,
yes,
I'll make sure to look you up and do that, because the continent's pretty small, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you guys are just on the corner. So listen, you guys watching, I really appreciate you all watching today. If you're there on Amazon, tool around, get some books. You know, every time you learn something new, there's an unlimited capacity to learn. When I had my kids, I remember I had the first one, and then the second one, I was literally worried, can I, have enough love for the second kid? Because the first one was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. What am I going to do with this? Turns out it's unlimited, the amount of love you can give, you're able to, hold on to and give to your children and people in your life. And knowledge is the same way. You're not going to get filled up. Just go ahead and keep bringing in, and the good stuff will rise to the top. And if you want to be a better salesperson, first be a better person. And the way to do that is to improve yourself on a daily basis. I can't tell you how much I enjoy you all watching today. You guys are the best. I'm the Deej. Ari, stick around for a minute so I can talk to you afterwards. And you guys, go get them today. Tomorrow's another